Good day, everybody, and welcome to Comics Unlimited podcast. Do the new comics really stink? Are they abysmal? Or do you collect them like I do?
Welcome to the Comics Unlimited podcast with your hosts, Glenn B. Fleming and Ted Davies.
Good day, everybody. I am Ted Davies. I'm an artist and author, best known for my books Retrieve and Grim 101. Who is the laughing guy next to me?
I'm Glenn Fleming. I'm a writer, artist, and publisher. I've got 10 books in print on Amazon and lots of other things that we'll discuss probably another time.
Yeah.
And I produce Comics Unlimited with this guy next to me.
Yeah, yes, he does. And this is our proud book that we produce, actually series of books. The next one's going to be coming out real soon. This one is book 11, so check that one out. You can find it on Amazon. We'll put that up in a minute, so you guys can see that on Glenn B. Fleming's Amazon page. You're going to add something to that? Or are you going to say?
Yeah, fantastic artwork by Ian Gibson, Halo Jones.
Yes, Halo Jones.
Look at that.
A lot of people have been talking about Halo Jones, man. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about Halo Jones lately.
They've just decided to color it. It was always in black and white, and well, not for me. Just leave it alone. It doesn't need color.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
It's beautiful artwork.
You know, we've been getting a lot of people have been buying this all over the world. We've got Spain, UK, America, Canada. Yeah. We've had a lot of people purchase this, and now, but for whatever reason, Halo Jones has been really on the map. So I'm glad. Maybe we had something to do with that. We'll come back to that in a second, and we're going to talk a little bit more about your new publication coming out too as well. Yeah. Let's talk about Cashman's Comics. Cashman's Comics is down in Bay City, Michigan. John Cashman is the owner. He's been there for 26 years. Just had a customer appreciation day last Sunday. It was awesome. Got to go down there and see a bunch of people, and it was just a great thing. So check out everything that Cashman's is doing. Say hi to Petey the dog if you're down in Bay City, Michigan, and purchase something from John. Go to his website. He'll ship it anywhere as long as you pay for the product and the shipping. Okay, let me get this website real quick on here. There we go. Okay, so a lot of things have been going on right now. You've got before we get into the discussion at hand here, let me trade this out real quick. We're going to talk about Hatch 2 that's going to be coming out here. You've got an Indiegogo that's going to be launched when?
Well, anytime soon. I can't put. I'm about 85% fixing the campaign, and I'll be working on that when we're done here.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm really sort of excited and glad in a way, because it's been too long now. This has been ready for a long time, but other things come into play, don't they, and all this kind of thing. But I'm really pleased with it. I think it's a really good read. You've seen it.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. I own it right here, man. It's fantastic.
I got it there in front of you. So there's going to be, on the campaign, it's going to be the usual thing. It's going to be the comic. There's going to be that fantastic figurine that Helen made, the clay one. There's going to be original artwork, all sorts, just the usual thing. But I'm really looking forward to it. And it's not too far away, let's put it that way.
Okay.
I keep saying in a few weeks, and I missed the deadline. Yeah. So I'm just saying it's not far away.
Well, it's all in divine timing, man. Do your thing. Do your thing. Yeah. We're going to end up doing a live session 2 of Comics Unlimited so that we can do a proper launch to help everybody see the amazing thing that Hatch is. Very funny, very comical. There's not a lot of words, which I like, and it's thought provoking. It's fun. It's fun.
It's a visual experience,
right? And if you haven't seen the figurine that Glenn was talking about, go back to the last video that we did, and go back to the playlist and actually watch it, because it's quite amazing what Helen and his wife put together. Absolutely awesome.
Fabulous, yeah.
Awesome thing. If you're listening in on the audio podcast too, if you switch over to YouTube and become part of Ted's Tribe and subscribe there, you can actually see us and see what we're talking about. That's always good. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more. Our discussion is going to be I think it's pretty true to heart. It's just two collectors, two friends, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to be talking about we're gonna be comparing what what the new comics offer and how seasoned collectors like Glenn and myself, we do differ on what we like and what we don't like when it comes to the new stuff. If you go back to our last video, what was it that you said, Glenn? You said something about new comics are what?
I said when I go down to my shop, Forbidden Planet, I'm a bit disappointed when it's on two levels. You walk in off the street, and it's just full of toys and posters of Luke Skywalker and all this kind of stuff. And you go downstairs to where all the comics are, and where the graphic novels are, or where the graphic novels used to be, where all those essential books used to be, where all those Mobius books used to be, where all the good stuff used to be, Cerebus and all that stuff, when it used to be there, and now it's full of this stuff, and it's called the Fantastic Four and things like that, but it's not my Fantastic Four. And I pick them up and I look at them, and I'm disappointed because I do look at different titles, and all the artwork's the same. There's no individuality there. It's all the same. And I'm not happy with it. I prefer the old stuff when I could pick up a book and I could see that it was Gene Colan drew it, John Romita, Jack Kirby, John Buscema. I can tell, as people of our age can tell, those different styles, but I don't see those different styles now. So I'm disappointed. So I don't buy them. I don't read them.
Understood.
So occasionally.
It's not necessarily the stories; it's the artwork itself.
I don't know the stories. I don't read them.
Okay.
I just look at the artwork, and I just see that it's just all the same. It's not bad artwork, but it's not exciting for me, and I don't like the colouring. You know what I feel about that. I just think they've been sanitized and everything's the same. But that's like life, isn't it?
Do you think it's because of the digital aspect of it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't. When I flick through these comics now, I see a lot of posters rather than storytelling.
Understood.
Gorgeous people, chiseled, looking fantastic, but they don't look like Kirby's Captain America. He looked like a guy who knocked 10 people out.
Understood. We and we're going to go through that too. And I think that's a valid statement. What you said last week, if I could quote, was that the new
set me up, aren't you?
No, I'm just. You said abysmal. That's a good word. It's a good word because you're not this crotchety old man that hates the world yet.
No, I don't hate the world at all.
Okay, so right, you've traveled it, and so I want to, I'm prefacing this because I want people to understand that it's not just, oh, I hate change and all this other stuff. You don't at all. You're just this is what you enjoy. This is what you grew up on, and this is great.
I think I don't like change for change's sake. That's very important.
Yes,
if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Okay, so if you guys, like I said, are watching this on YouTube, I'm bringing out Avengers number 13, The Avengers.
Yeah,
and this copy is a little rough, but it's a reader copy. I love it. And this is Jack Kirby.
Jack Kirby and Chick Stone.
And it is an amazing cover. I have to say, it's one I just brought it out because it was the closest one I had at hand, Kirby wise. So tell me, you describe what you see there. Tell me about what you see.
Right. I see action. I see good composition. I was just looking there. I mean, I've seen that a lot of times. I used to own it myself. But if you look at the Kirby's composition there with that circle on the guy's control panel, but look who he puts. We've got the Avengers across the top. Look who he puts to stop you going off the page. It's Giant Man, isn't it?
Yes.
Or whatever it's called.
Yeah. And so it's like a bookmark or a book end.
Because if you'd have put Cap there, Cap's leg wouldn't reach down to bring you back in with that foot. Yeah. That's all composition. But it's just so dynamic and it's just beautiful. But now they would have all been posing like, look at me, I'm gorgeous, and look at my biceps and I'm beautiful. Well, these guys aren't. These guys are going to save the world,
Got it. So, and like I said, it's a valid, this is the stuff that, this was older when I was growing up, but I've learned to appreciate it as an artist, like you were saying, composition's huge, but the text, everything, even the colors, it's just different. It's different than what today is. I'm going to show you some of the ones that I pick up that I enjoy today. And I enjoy Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby's pretty much, we love him on this station.
Yep.
Jack Kirby and Mike Mignola. Those are the two that we talk about the most. And I
Yep.
think that is this is a good argument. It's a good statement. It's not even an argument. It's a statement on viewpoint. I want people to understand that. I know it's a recorded session of Comics Unlimited, but I want people to, can jump in on this. Let us know what you think on this, whether it's the stories that are lacking or it's the artwork. Some great stories have come out of comics the last couple years. Some fantastic stories. I'm not going to get into the indie side of it is one thing. The mainstream side of it is another. The one thing that you did talk about, Glenn, was you said that you go to a store. What was the name of the store? Forbidden Planet?
Yeah.
And it's a big conglomerate. That's a
Yep.
big company. They're worldwide. So pop culture, in general, has been affected by comics or vice versa. I mean, really, we're in a situation that I think because of these comics, pop culture was invented. Action figures, Funko Pops, all these things, these books that you don't necessarily like the artwork in anymore. Things are different. This isn't pen and paper anymore. This is digital formatting and it's digital drawing, and there's nothing wrong with that. This particular cover is not. This is old school, and this is where it started. Now, some of the ones that I'm talking about now is I'm going to bring out. I really like this new series, Batman and the Joker: The Deadly Duo, that Mark Silvestri has been drawing, and I like the way that this is done. Again, it's heartening back to the I think the way that the comics should be, as far as if you're going to do digital, if you're going to do whatever a digital aspect of this is fantastic. I think this looks really great. I'm going to go through a few different ones, but I want to show you why I like these. I mean, the composition, that's beautiful. Is it not? Or not?
It is, but it's a poster.
Okay. And the other one's not, though. The Avengers, how is it different?
Because of the placement of this, they've all got their own little space. But on that Avengers one, the problem, there's a problem on that page, which is the Avengers are fighting this guy with the machine, right? They're in trouble. They're obviously in trouble. Thor's losing his hammer.
Yeah.
They're all losing their mind. And the guy's crazy. You can see he's crazy. Well, he's like the Phantom of the Opera guy, isn't he? Playing
absolutely
that kind of thing. But he looks evil. The drawing. I mean, look at those hands. They're terrible, aren't they? But they work.
They're so
work.
Good. Yeah,
and
they do.
You see, I've got a different view. I see a great action comic there that I want to pick up and read, and the other one you showed, which is a fantastic drawing by Silvestri, but it's just a poster. It doesn't make me think, oh, I'm going to read this. I see two things. I see a lot of individuals sort of within their. They don't see the individuals on that cover there don't seem to be together like that Avengers cover. They've all got their own little spot. But the thing I don't like, and this is the change thing, is Batman and the Joker, the deadly duo. What's all that about? It seems to me I've not read it, but it seems to me from that Batman and the Joker have teamed up to beat this common enemy, and they wouldn't do that.
You guys will have to check that out. I'm not going to tell you about the story.
No, well,
I like the story, but I think that you can check that out. But
I'm probably wrong, but it's that. See, it's that the cover is your first point of call with the reader.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
That's the first thing you see. That drawing there, it's a nice drawing and everything. It's great, but it doesn't make me want to pick it up and read it. So it's not doing its job as far as I'm concerned. It's a great drawing. I wish I could draw like that. It's fantastic, but it doesn't make me want to pick it up.
Right, and again, I'm just trying to get your perspective on it. I think that's terrific. Another great. I think it looks nice. Now, what about this one?
What do you think
on this one?
It's a poster.
It is.
It doesn't tell me anything. It doesn't tell me anything about the story other than the Batman, the Joker are fighting something or buddies at last or whatever. But what's that got to do with anything? That's not right.
Now, what do you think about variation covers? This one is the one of the normal covers that came out, which I love. This is the new variation cover by Mac, And this is I love this. I mean, I really like this a lot. The stylistic side of it.
But it doesn't tell me what's inside. It doesn't
Exactly.
tell
It
me.
doesn't. It doesn't.
It's a great drawing. It's a great poster, but it doesn't tell me. It doesn't make me think, wow, I've got to read this. It makes me think, oh, that's a nice drawing. And then I walk by.
And that's it. Okay.
You know?
That's fair enough. Fair enough. And I can see your point on that. Compared
I tell you
to
what, just before you just go back to that
Yeah.
last one again. That sort of breaks all the rules, because look where the title is and what it is. It's in the bottom, whereas it should be more prominent, I think. But that's just me.
Right. Well, these and this brings up a point. Variations, these variety variant covers that they have now. You didn't have that when we were growing up.
No.
We might have had a couple of them, but not to that extent. Not to where the Avengers. I mean, that was the cover you got. That was all she wrote, right? That was it.
You see, again, that cover, that guy,
mm-hmm.
he's doing something. He's got this crazy machine, and he's doing something, and they're reacting, and he's dangerous, and there's a problem, there's trouble. But on the other one, it's just Batman and the Joker arm in arm swinging across Gotham, like they're in love or something, you know. Well, you know.
Okay, that's fair enough.
The times.
Fair enough. How is the well, okay, let's talk about movie posters. Let's go, since we're talking posters. When I was a kid, I mean, Star Wars, they had the epic one was with Luke and Leia and the X-Wings all coming in and the Death Star in the background. This epic, you know, these posters.
But look at all the James Bond one with Sean Connery on. Those are fantastic posters.
Sure,
but that's a different thing. That's a poster to sell the film.
Yeah,
it's not a comic book.
Well, okay, then let's ask. I mean, this is a poster too. In regards, it is. It still is.
This is a poster.
This is a poster.
I disagree. I think
if you put this in a slab, it's a poster. You can read this. Obviously,
I disagree.
Okay.
That the cover is Dave Gibbons did it best on Watchmen. The cover is two things. It's the first panel of the story, and it's the most important because it's got to sell the story. It's got to make you want to pick it up and buy it. That makes me want to find out what's happening. But the other one is just Batman swinging through Gotham with the Joker, which to me is unlikely. I haven't read the story. It might be the best story ever written. But it's not going to make me read it. That's going to make me read it. That cover. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying the artwork's bad or anything like that, but it's a poster. That's not a poster to me.
So now, what if you did pick it up and read it and you liked it? Then what?
Well, I still think it was a poster, but I think the story was good. But it's not doing its job because I'm not going to pick it up.
This reminds me.
I'll read it when I get over to yours.
Yeah, right, and that's cool.
Okay.
This particular one really reminds me. It's almost like if it was a statue.
Yeah,
it could be an absolute. You know, you could see this in the middle of literally in the middle of a Batman church. I mean, this could be an epic.
Yeah.
But I think though too that you've got to be. I'm a Batman fan, so I look for, you know, having Batman and Joker. I mean, that's awesome. That's kind of my checklist. You know, that's right. It's like Hellboy. You know, the stuff that I don't necessarily like everybody else doing. Mike Mignola's Hellboy, but boy, if Mike does it, I'm there. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the thing I don't like is everything looks the same, and on digital, to me, it looks the same. And that's why I didn't like when we talked about, that's why I like Mac, the way that he did this, because it's very much watercolor based. There's shapes. I mean, the cat in the background, I mean, it's Catwoman. And it's a limited, again, these
is that for the same story?
Yeah.
That's an alternate cover. So I go into the shop.
Yeah.
And there are those. There's
this one. And then
if I buy that one, and buy the one with the statue, as it's called, you know, as we're saying.
Or this one. These two were the two. There's 5 or 6 of these.
So I could buy 5 comics and it's all the same story.
Correct. But the variation, the variation of the comic though is limited. So some people really like Mac's work. I mean, I do. I really like Mac, but John Cashman ended up, he usually pulls the ones that he thinks I'm going to like, you know. And then I ended up picking this one up too because I like both of the covers on this. But again, I'm collecting new. You know, this is part of what I do. I don't do it for everything. The Hellboys I do, you know, anything that's coming out with Hellboy. But then I look at, you know, then I look at things like this too, and I'm a big collector of these. You know, I mean, this is, I get what you're saying on this, but I think that I think you're missing. You got to get what you want. I don't care if it's Archie comics from or whatever. You got to get what you want. You know, you got to You've been in this a long time. Your game is still. You've done a lot of work with graphic arts and that, you know what you like, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that I think you might be missing really good storytelling on some of them.
Because the cover doesn't make me pick it up. If I walked into Forbidden Planet and saw that,
yeah,
you know, that Avengers, I think, wow,
yeah,
I'm going to have that, but I don't see that. So I'm not sure whether that's my fault.
Well, and it might be that they don't carry it. You said the essentials that they have. If people don't know what the essentials are, they were a trade paperback they were produced for how long? 10 years, 15 years?
I think about 10 years. Yeah, they were brilliant because they reprinted all the old stuff and in fact that issue as well is in the Avengers Essentials in black and white.
Yeah,
we've said before about the coloring of these things, the flat coloring that they did. It's horrible. The coloring is horrible, but it's brilliant.
But it's brilliant. It is.
And I've said before that inside, the best for me when I was a kid, I used to laugh because I used to look for the misregister.
Yes.
You know, of the printing plate, you know, this all adds to it. But now it's just all so pristine. It's like, let me put it this way. That Avengers comic there is vinyl. That Batman you showed me is a CD.
Yeah.
Crisp, clear. Wow. But doesn't have that warmth and that mistake and that depth and that feeling, emotion, you know?
Yep. I understand that. I get it. I want to show you this. I know it's not what we've been talking about, but I've got this off side here. I wanted to, so this one here is this number 15 Hawkman. And I want to,
Joe Kubert.
Yes. I just want to show you this as far as composition goes. That looks amazing to me. That just we're talking about composition for a second.
Yeah.
If this was done digitally, I don't know if it would be the same impact. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and you guys, you know, jump in the conversation because I think that's.
Do you know what's wrong with that cover?
Tell me.
That where it's a great cover, but where it doesn't quite work, and that's to me. I have to base everything on a Kirby cover because he's the best. I don't care what anybody says. But it's true, isn't it?
I'm glad you're not biased. Yeah.
Well, I am biased, but it doesn't mean I'm wrong. Right. If you look at that cover, it to me is you know what you do with a kid, you might just sort of touch your kid's chin, like go, hey, you know, it looks like he's just gonna touch his chin.
Tap him. Yeah.
If that was Kirby, he'd be further back.
Yeah.
Right. Or it'd be further forward.
Perspective would be.
And I mean, I know it's a second before he punches Hawkman, but I think a better cover and a more intriguing cover would have been Hawkman reacting to a punch and going backwards a bit, because then I would have thought this guy's got the better of Hawkman. But the way it is to me, it just looks like he's his best mate and he's just tapping him on the chin.
Okay. So what makes this not a poster?
Because all the people in the red guy and the Hawkman, they're together. They're in the same space.
Okay.
And the one that you showed me, let's call it the statue cover, all those people on there are in their own space. It's like they've been drawn separately on purpose.
Yeah.
Not all drawn together. Because I don't know how you draw, but I'll tell you how. If I was to draw that
Yeah.
Or anything.
This one.
I sketch it out. I sketch the whole thing, and I work
Yeah.
all the way around it at the same time, so the drawing is basically finished everywhere at the same time. I wouldn't draw that. That to me, and I might be wrong, but that to me looks like he's drawn the Joker, then he's drawn Batman, then he's drawn the guy falling down, instead of drawing them all.
I can understand that.
It's like when you ink. I don't know whether you do this when you ink. When I ink a comic, whatever it is, whether it's Hatch or one of my other things, I get the pencils finished all at the same time. I'll work on the first panel and the second panel all the way around. Yeah. And then I'll do all the faces and I'll do all the...
I think that's the way we were taught, though.
Yeah.
I mean, digital artists do that too in a lot of respects with the layers. You know, we even with my digital work, I would do that, and then I'd add layers, faces, you know, lines, whatever, accordingly. But I understand what you're saying. Well, we were taught that way traditionally, right? Whether it was in the office or at school. No,
I don't know whether anybody told me that, but that's just the way I work. But that drawing there, the Hawkman drawing, like I'm saying, they're sharing the same space. But the other thing that's missing from there is the whack, you know, the bang,
the actual connection.
It's nice drawing and everything. Great arm. Hawkman's got a great arm there, but there's no. It should be banging in one.
Okay. You know? Let me show you this one, just to change the perspective a bit. Again, a DC comic, unexpected. Now, I believe this is an Adams cover, but I have to check that. Don't hold me on that one. Why is this not a poster?
Because of the same thing. They're all. It's all that hand, that skeleton that's picking up the blanket, was drawn at the same time as the other guy's hands. It's the same drawing. It's not how can I put it? It's not posed. It's not a pose. All the guys on the statue cover are all posed. They're all, and that's the thing with the artwork now. They're all like, all the girls are there with the chest, you know, look at me, I'm gorgeous. Not, oh no, it's Dr. Doom, you know? And that's it's quite spooky, that, isn't it?
It is, isn't it though? Yeah.
but to me it's not a poster. I like the shadow of the guy. I think it's the shadow of the guy looking down. That's really spooky. But like I said, that was all drawn at the same time, and it's not a pose, you know.
Interesting. So the line quality, everything else is kind of irrelevant, is what you're saying, or the positioning.
Style.
I mean,
that's style, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that, you know, nostalgia's. I'm in business for nostalgia. I mean, I love nostalgia. Absolutely. It's only nostalgia because we're older. You know, the Batman Joker, this stuff in the next 50 years will be their nostalgia, you know, and this will be something that they're going to be, oh man, I remember this. This is great. You know, I don't know. I think
again, that is a poster because they're not all in the same space.
They're independent. I see what you're saying. Yeah. And they're not
it's a great drawing. Don't get me wrong.
It is.
But that doesn't make me want to pick it up. I'll tell you what I don't like, and this is just my personal opinion. See his left leg?
Yeah.
His thigh. And it was on the other one where he's swinging with the Joker. There's this Frank Miller,
distortion or what?
Exaggerated thigh. I don't like that, but that's just me. But it's a great drawing. But it's a poster. It's like a movie poster.
It is. It absolutely is.
And it's great, but it doesn't make me want to pick it up.
It's very triangular. I mean, it's extremely, you know, you're going right for the face of the Joker. It's pretty.
Yeah.
It's very evident.
It is. It's a great cover, but it is a great poster.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make me want to pick it up.
Got it. So, like I said, guys, you know, it's not.
But look at the simple composition on that, where you see his face. The first thing you see is his face, and then you see his eyes looking up, and you see the hand, and then you come down on the blanket to his hand, to the pillow, to his wrist, to his hand, to the blanket, to that skeleton. You just go round in a circle, and that's good composition. And if you look at the bottom right-hand page, the blanket bleeds off the page, but it stops your eye going off the page.
Yes,
because we read left to right, and then even the guy, if you look at the skeleton, the sleeve of the skeleton guy, you know, that is pointing down to the blanket, and the lines of the blanket are going to the hand and then to the pillow, then to the wrist, and then above that left or the right hand of the guy, you've got that sort of staircase thing coming down, taking you back in again. It's all designed to stop your eye going off the page.
Got it.
And that's perfect composition. That's a brilliant cover.
So are you, with all of these then, and including this one here, are you saying that we are judging books by their cover?
Yes, because that's the point. If you don't, you know, like if you go and see a film, you might like, say, I don't know, Brad Pitt. So you will always go and see Brad Pitt in a film because basically he makes good films. He's nice to look at. You like him. You like what he does. I tell you what, for the same thing, I don't like John Wayne films because I don't like John Wayne. I'll get killed for that, but I don't care.
No, but
I don't like John Wayne.
It's just not your taste. I get it.
I just totally. I don't think he's a good actor, but that's a different story. But
yeah.
But he's a big star, so you know, who am I? But I wouldn't go and see a film with John Wayne in, but I'd go and see one with Sean Connery in, or Brad Pitt or George Clooney because they make good films.
Got it.
Tom Cruise, whatever you think of him, whatever he does outside his film life is nothing to do with me. He makes good films, entertaining films. So I would go and see him. So it's like that. It's the same thing as the comic. Those pictures, the covers don't make me want to pick them up. The new ones, I do pick them up because I want to see what's going on, but I put it down soon enough. You know, and I'm disappointed with that, but that's just me. That's just my opinion.
And that's good. And I don't think, and what I was trying to say too, though, is it's not just an angry, all due respect, old man complex. Get off my lawn. It's not, oh, that's change. Oh, you know, no. It's not like that at all. All I was saying, you know, you just have to have it to the point where you're visually, you're intrigued. And that's that you see the world a little bit differently than some. And that's great. That's what comic collecting is all about. I mean,
the thing is that, you know what I think about doing art with a pencil and piece of paper.
Yes.
Right? That's me. I've tried to do comic art or illustration on the computer, and I've done it quite well because I'm an artist. So it's only another tool to use, and I don't like it. I'm not saying people shouldn't do it. I'm not saying that John Silvestri, that Silvestri guy, Mark Silvestri shouldn't draw the way he does because he's obviously a top professional and good luck to him. I'm saying it's not for me. That's just my opinion. You know, I like a lot of things, but I don't like that, and I don't. And this thing with the change thing is that if it doesn't need changing, why change it? Just for the sake of, and that's what's happening with. Look at what's happening with the Roald Dahl books and things like that. Now they're rewriting them because somebody might be upset because somebody calls somebody fat. Well, what you've got to remember is that those books are classics, and you can't make the classic come to you. You have to go to the classic. So you have to be in the classic zone. Don't bring the classic into your zone. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
no,
if you
I agree.
read Shakespeare, they'll be on to Shakespeare next.
And they're a mark of the time. They're a mark of the time too.
Exactly.
I mean, Orwell. Orwell was all about. It's all
about now, isn't it?
Times and everything.
It's all about now. 1984. It's happening now.
It is.
It's
but
double speak.
When you look back on a lot of the things he wrote about, it was all, you know, it was all war based. It was all not war based, but the times. And so, yeah, I mean, you have to put yourself in that. And I'm not justifying any type of racist books or anything like that. I don't think that's right in any time frame. But
you get lots of books from the 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
And I won't say the words, obviously, but you know what words I'm saying.
Yeah.
But those words, you can't cut those words out. You should leave them in, and you should realize, you should be taught and shown and realize.
And this is why it was wrong. And
that's why it was wrong. Yeah. We don't do that now. We shouldn't do that now.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Those people did. But we've gone off topic a bit. All right.
Well, that's good though. It can be crossed over to comics too, though, because comics had a kind of a dark time too. Where they were very, and cartooning and everything else anything can be manipulated in a bad way, right? Manipulated in a bad way.
Yeah, of course.
So do you still think that new comics are abysmal?
Abysmal was probably a bit stronger. Not to my taste. Well, you know, I'm just a human. I make mistakes, but
it's a good word though, because not everybody knows what abysmal is, so they probably are looking it up. So that's great.
Well, no, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't be looking it up. They wanted cancelling because I'd said it, and they didn't want to know what it meant.
I think that you're your your way of looking at the things that you grew up with and that style and how it's very, into that your mindset, into your eye, and then that's good because you look for that, and I do too. I do too. There's a lot of things that there's so many movies that I saw growing up that it's different now, and it's fantastic what they can do now with the CGI and everything else. But even looking back on that and movie screen or the posters and the way the books were in the magazines and all these things that were of that era. Yeah, and some of it becomes the newer books, comic books become background noise to me. A lot of
Yeah.
them because they're just so it's almost they're so perfect. And I was talking about that in architecture too. Blueprints became so perfect, you couldn't tell where the mistakes were. And
Yeah.
you didn't know until it was actually built, the house or whatever was built, that these things weren't, because it looked perfect on the plan. I think that a lot of that you miss in comics. I think that, but in the same respect, I think there's some amazing stories that are being told in today's market, not just indie comics or mainstream or whatever you want to call it. But I think that there are. Be careful when you judge things by the cover. Be very, very careful.
Do you know what's happened to my mind? It's like on TV and films, everything's become very dark and very real. I used to watch a soap called Coronation Street. It's the longest running soap ever. I've not watched it for a long time now, but it was really funny. They'll have a couple of tragedies, somebody die or something. But now every week it's somebody getting beaten up, a bank gets robbed and the shop gets robbed.
Yeah.
And you think there's enough of that outside the front door.
Right.
They've stopped being entertainment. So
you want to release, you want to get away.
But now they have to have people of all persuasions and everything in it, and just to be diverse and all this. Well, it's not the point. I'm not saying they shouldn't have people coming in, but it's not the point. It's not fun anymore. And that's the same thing with comics. They're not fun. I used to look forward to reading the Kirby's Fantastic Four. And it was fun. It was exciting. I knew it wasn't real. I'm not stupid. I was 12, but I'm not stupid. I knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't real, but I loved it, and I loved the artwork, and I love Stan's silly words and all this kind of stuff. And it was fantastic. But now it's all about different. I don't know. I can't say. Can I? You know what I mean? It's all different stuff. It's all being real
for the sake of being different.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're changing it for the sake of changing it.
And I think, danger of rebooting things it falls on itself sometimes. Rebooting, I've noticed that, especially with in LA and Hollywood and everything's being rebooted, and it doesn't necessarily have to be. Just run the old stuff.
I haven't. The last Spider-Man I watched film was is it Toby, whatever he's called?
Maguire.
Tobey Maguire, and I enjoyed those.
Mm-hmm.
I've not watched the new ones because somebody told me that we see his Uncle Ben getting killed again, and it's a bit different and it's like the same thing, but that's what Disney do, isn't it? Every 7 years, the Disney plan is that there's new kids watching the film, so they just pump out the same thing.
I mean, it makes sense from a standpoint, money-wise. I understand that, but changes is going to happen. My biggest thing is you find out what you like, stick with it if you want. If you want to read some of the new stuff just to compare, see what it's about. And if you don't like it, that's cool too. That's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that when you've been so entrenched with meeting Jack and everything else, and that you've seen the work and you've done drawing for so long, I appreciate the way that you look at and what you look for in comics, because I know you still collect the nostalgics, not many, but you do pick up older books because that's your taste. That's what you like, I know in car design and everything else, there's certain cars I like. There's certain lines that I like, just the way that they're shaped and that kind of thing, or motorcycles, it's all, there's a divine line to it all.
I'll tell you what, if you want to bring it to money, because that always boils down to money.
Sure.
Which, if you had the original artwork for that statue cover, and the Kirby Avengers, which do you think would cost you the most?
Kirby Avengers.
And which one would you rather have on your wall?
Probably the Kirby Avengers.
There you go.
Because Jack's gone, and it's never ever going to be reproduced. That's it. And I don't know if he did. I don't know how Mark works, if he does it all digitally or if he draws and then does that. I don't know.
He's a
But
great artist. He's
that's
fantastic.
fantastic. And he's
Artist,
long term. I mean, he's been around a long time.
Yeah.
So this isn't a flash in the pan. He's done his dues, you know.
Yeah. He is good.
But there's, you know, like everything else, find out what you like, collect what you like. Don't write off something yet just because it's different. There might be something, because I've done that too. And I tease Glenn because I know that he would not do that intentionally.
It's
But
not.
You aren't passionate about it. You're not passionate about that type of art. And that's
I don't dislike it because it's different. I dislike it because I don't think it's very good.
My concern is that
or as good as
it's not comics, it's pop culture that you're seeing. You're seeing this huge movement, and it's a money. It can be a money grab for a lot of things. And I think that you're probably very right on a lot of the way things are positioned now, the way things are posterized, and I think that's fine. And I think that if anything, it builds your passion for the older stuff, which is great. Closing though, I think that all in all, you know, get what you want, find out what you want, find out what you really like as far as artwork goes, and see what works for you. I think that's awesome. Check out everything that we're doing too. Let me get the Comics Unlimited book here back up. Check out everything we're doing with Comics Unlimited, and let me post that real quick. And the new one will be coming out soon as well. So, and check out everything we're doing with Ted Davies Artistry. We'd love to have you subscribe and be part of Ted's tribe on this. What were you going to say, Glenn?
In the next issue of Comics Unlimited, which is out shortly, I'm going to stop saying in a couple of weeks. Shortly, there's 2 interviews. There's one with Russ Leach, British artist,
very good, very good.
Yeah. And there's one with what's he called now? Oh yeah, me, regarding Hatch.
Excellent.
So
good deal.
I think I showed you the cover as well, didn't I?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So, looks great. Looks really, really good.
Why not? I thought if I can't be in my own magazine, you know.
Yeah. Right. What's the point?
What's the point?
Please like and share this out for everybody, guys. Hopefully you have some comic collectors, you know, people that love comics in your family or circle of influence, and let them know all about us. And check us out on Spotify as well if you're interested in audio podcasts. And we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, Glenn. I appreciate your time, man.
Yeah, it's good. Thanks.
And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
See you later.